Hey guys, what's up? Zach here. Today we are here with another episode of F1 2014 Co-op Career Mode. You can see there we qualified in 3rd place, which I thought was pretty good on the 2nd row of the grid behind the 2 Mercedes. So good place to start us here in Spa. So yeah, you know, he's looking like he's not very happy, but I still think 3rd place on the grid was pretty decent considering the Mercedes were just so fast in real life at Spa. Even though they didn't get the win, they were just incredibly fast because of the straight line speed they had. And yeah, so top 3 should be pretty good for the race, and now just getting prepared and everything in the garage and everything, just waiting for Will to get his setup and everything right, or just to make sure his controller was working and everything like it didn't in Silverstone. If you remember back there, his controller wasn't working very well. But yeah, just quickly going through the grid there, you can see Will qualified in the top 10 in 10th place. And we're building the revs here to start the race. 4 lights are on, 5 lights are on here in Spa, and the lights are out, and away we go. We get a good start. Both the Mercedes seem to bog down ever so slightly, and down to turn 1 we've already got the run on Hamilton. Down to turn 1 we managed to make the move stick, but we go a little bit wide. Hamilton does look on the exit. We run over the curbs ever so slightly. Hamilton is challenging. Looks like there's a bit of contact behind. Cars going way off the track, but as we head up to Eau Rouge, we will be leading the race and head of Hamilton and Vettel, who has made it up into 3rd place. They're slightly cutting Eau Rouge. It wasn't intentional, but just kind of move on and learn from that little mistake there on lap number 1 with heavier fuel loads, remember, so the cars will be slightly different to handle as they were in qualifying. But now braking very close between me and Hamilton. Well, actually he's less than 1/10 of a second behind me through that split there, so he's very close behind me here, and I'm managing to keep the lead just at the moment. He's looking alongside us. Will has actually made it up into 3rd place after all the carnage in the first couple of corners there. He's managed to make his way up into 3rd place, which would be an excellent result if he could finish there for us. Obviously he's had quite a bad couple of run of races. Will, I think last 6 or so races he's hardly scored any points, so this would be a very important race for him to possibly get himself onto the podium once again, where we know he can finish. But just been a bit unlucky the last couple of events. But Hamilton is challenging us. He's right up behind us here, and we're sort of struggling with the car on the heavier fuel loads. It's not steering in as well as it did, and just slightly going into the gravel there as there's slight contact with Hamilton running wide into the side of me here. But I managed to just about keep a slight overlap, and we managed to get back down the inside once again of Hamilton. We run side by side, just a bit more contact as Hamilton run wide over the curbs, and we run wide once again as Hamilton seems to just crash into us for no particular reason. And Will has an amazing run. Hamilton's dropped outside the top 3. Will has managed to get into 2nd place. He goes slightly wide there. Mercedes both battling it out behind him. Now into the final couple of corners here, the bus stop. Will is right up behind me once again, and Rosberg is challenging in 3rd place now. So it's a very intense first lap there. Positions changing all over the place. You can see that Hamilton is currently in 4th place down through turn 1. We slightly lock up, have to use the full lock of the steering and run over the curves. There's a bit of side by side here, and Will manages to get a slight advantage on the run down to Eau Rouge. Is this going to be an Alonso Webber moment as we go up to Eau Rouge? Well, I slightly back off there. It's like I don't want to get involved in an accident, so I backed off. And you can sometimes get a bit of an advantage by backing off just before Eau Rouge, because you get the run down the straight and into the slipstream, and that's exactly what I did. So I look down the inside here, but actually looking behind at Rosberg more than I'm looking at Will in front here, and I slightly missed my braking point. I braked and then I sort of lifted off and then braked again. And for some reason I just braked too late once again and hit Will, but I let him back past, so that was the main thing. And then I think Rosberg slightly crashed into me ever so slightly and lost a bit of my front wing, or lost a bit of his front wing. And now we're running side by side with Hamilton. There's more side by side action once again. And if you look behind, well, you can see in the mirrors, it's very small in the mirrors, but you might be able to see Hamilton and Rosberg very close as well. But Will has managed to get into the lead of this race, which is really good for him after a very, as I said, bad couple of run of races. So this would be a great result for him if he can finish in the front couple of positions here today. But we're trying to close them down. We want to get that win. We're currently leading the championship, so every point is going to be very valuable. And we might be able to wrap up this championship a little bit sooner than, you know, maybe we'd expected. But Will makes a slight mistake going in the gravel, so we look around the outside here on heavier fuel loads. That was a bit risky considering I could have gone over the edge of the track and into the gravel, but luckily I didn't. I managed to get the lead of the race back once again. And we're going to be heading up to the bus stop any second now. Will is right in the slipstream though, so we're going to have to maybe go a bit defensive, or we're going to leave him room to maybe go down the inside here. But we break into the bus stop, no accidents or anything, it's all good. And then look at this, my controller, or my G27 wheel, just disconnects, and I was like, what is happening here? So basically, if you don't know the setup of my room, I have my simulator and my wheel is set up and everything on one side of my room, and then the other side of the room I have my PC, and I have some wires sort of dangling across the room when I record. So basically I had to get up out of the chair that I sort of race in, run up to my computer, then change the options any second now when I actually realise what's happening. So I go down options and then go to controls and then go to G27 wheel, and it's like back up and just get onto the other side of the room once again, get into the car and go. So all of that, I was like, oh for goodness sake, all of that, and I was doing so well, I was in the lead race, and then that goes and happens. Never ever happened to me ever before in a Formula 1 games, and then it goes and happens there. But on lap number 5 we go and set the fastest lap of the race is good, and we've actually nearly caught up to Button. I'm not too sure why he's down the order in 21st place. Either he's pitted or he's had an accident, and he's battling with Chilton over 20th place here currently. You can see they're going at it, trying to overtake each other. But look at this move here. Nice move down the inside of Button, no contact or anything. Nice move, and managed to move ourselves into 21st place, which is good. Next on the list, Mr. Chilton. And then a bit of a gap to the cars in front, but I thought, well, we've got a decent chance. We might be able to make our way through the field here and still score some points, because we've got a good car. Will maybe could help us out in the lead of the race by holding the guys up behind him a little bit. So I thought, you know, this could work out. We might be able to score points. So I managed to get past Chilton there very easy in the straight line. The Marussia just so slow in the straight line, which is a bit strange. I think in real life it was actually not that bad. But into the bus stop once again, and look at this. It disconnects again. I'm like, oh my goodness, really? This is going to happen today on a track where I could have easily won. So I go to driver controls, the G27 wheel, back up, then run to my simulator again, get on the throttle and accelerate away once again, and then I think I've pretty much at this point lost the pit stop to the last place guy. So we're going to see when we go around turn 1, and we'll see what happens here. But no, it goes and happens again. So I was like, okay, I think I know what's happened at this point. You can see Bianchi and the caterer. Didn't see who it was, probably Ericsson there, but I think I know what the problem was. I don't know why this happened today. It never happened before, as I said, but basically if I turn more than 90 degrees, like sharply at one time, it just disconnected. So basically for the rest of the race, what I was doing is, for like the first turn and bus stop, I was having to turn in a lot earlier and a lot less amount, if that makes any sense. So I didn't sort of disconnect the wheel once again, because I just wanted to finish this race at this point. I was like, this is dreadful. We had a terrible race in Hungary, and this is going to be a no scoring points race again. There's no way I'm scoring points. Look how far ahead on the mini-map. Look how far ahead Chilton is. He's at the end of the, I think, is it the straight after Eau Rouge? I think it's called the Kemmel Straight. So look how far he had, was ahead. But now we've actually closed that gap down quite a bit. He's at turn 1 now as we go across the start-finish line. So as we set a fastest lap as well. So obviously we had the pace. We were the fastest car out there. As we skip ahead to the last lap of the race here, you can see we've got Chilton right in front of us. We've closed down about a 25-second gap to Chilton. That shows just how quick we are and how slow Chilton is. So that's how amazing our pace was throughout this race. We managed to catch Chilton 25 seconds in like 4 or 5 laps, which is just insane. Now through Eau Rouge we have such a good run, get past Chilton, and it's this race which is just like mind-boggling how this all worked out. 3 times my controller disconnected, losing probably over a minute, and I'm not going to finish last place in this race. I just think that shows how well I was driving in a way, and also just showing how slow the Marussia is. I'm just fast forwarding through this last lap here, not really anything happening, but I nearly got the gap down to Bianchi as well. There's a little group of them in front here, you can see there. But as we slow around the final corner, or slow down to normal speed I should say, I managed to come home in 21st place. I bet you're thinking, why did you even show us that race? You finished 21st. Well, basically, I thought that was a pretty decent race. I mean, in terms of the pace, I thought it was just great, and I thought that's the reason why I uploaded this, just to show you I do it the speed, and I was the fastest person out on track there, and I could have won that race if it, probably could have won that race if it wasn't for the disconnections. And overall I think it was actually maybe a bit more of an interesting race to watch in a way at the fight back. So there's the driver standings. I lead by now 6 points over Vettel. Hamilton in 3rd, Ricciardo is in 4th, then Rosberg after his win in Spa finishes 5th. Will is in 6th place there. I'm just going down the order, you can just see where everyone else is. People like Raikkonen, Hulkenberg, Perez, all about the 50-point mark there, which is pretty impressive to see. But that whole race has closed up the championship quite a massive amount there, so that's interesting for you guys, I expect to see. Now, there is a big challenge for this championship as we head to Monza, then Singapore, which I'm terrible at. And if you look at the constructors, we're not leading anymore. We were leading at one point, but I think before, or just after Hungary, I should say, I think we lost the lead of the constructors championship to Red Bull. 17 points behind them now, which yeah, I think we can make that up, but we'll have to see. But yeah, thanks again for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Until next time, it's been Alex about here. Goodbye.